Good morning, Kasturians. In this video of chapter The Industrial Revolution, we will see the changes that took place in the lives of people and the conditions of workers, and what were the laws that were passed to bring about some improvement in the working conditions. Let's start. Changes in the life of people were there due to the Industrial Revolution. Due to Industrial Revolution, the intelligent and the talented people, they got more opportunities for earning, and the rich people, they invested their money with a hope to get more profit and with a hope to multiply their investments. The wealth, incomes and productive efficiency of the people, it increased, but it was not only the positive. In fact the people were negatively affected, as the broken families were there, new addresses, degraded cities with lots of slums, and pathetic working conditions of workers were prevailing in the factories. The number of cities in England with a minimum population of 50,000. Earlier there were only two cities in 1750, but by the time till 1850, these two cities, the number of cities, it grew and it became 29 due to the migration of people from the rural areas to the cities in search of better job opportunities. Also, the adequate number of houses, sanitation and clean water was not increased in accordance with the growth of city, and it resulted in development of slums. The newcomers were forced to live in crowded slums which were near to the factories, and the rich people, they shifted to suburb areas where they can get clean air and water. That is, they started living in the country sides. When we see the condition of workers, it was actually different. What we say as development, it was totally opposite of that. According to a survey in 1842, the life expectancy was lower as compared to non-workers in the cities. In Birmingham, the life expectancy was 15 years, in Manchester it was 17, and in Derby it was just 21 years. Many people, they died at young age, and the children, they lived only up to 5 in the new industrial cities due to increasing population, increasing pollution levels, and due to the slums that became breeding grounds for so many epidemics. The population in the cities, it increased not due to newborn babies, but due to the immigrants from villages that were migrating to the cities in search of better job opportunities. Diseases like cholera and typhoids, they claimed thousands of lives. In 1832, around 31,000 people were estimated to be died due to cholera, and until 19th century the municipal authorities, they didn't pay any attention to solve the sufferings of the people, and the medical knowledge in understanding and curing the diseases, it was also unknown. The industrial revolution, it affected the condition of women and children also. The uh, women and children, the way they worked, there were changes, and in fact important changes that took place in the way of working of the women and children. It was in the pre-industrial revolution period that the children and women, they worked either in farms or at home, and they were working under the watchful eyes of the parents and the relatives. And in the, especially the women, they were working in farms in villages where they used to rear livestock, they used to gather the firewood, or they were involved in spinning cotton. And the women and children were working to support the meager earnings of the man, and the industrialists they preferred to employ women and children. Why? Because these people they didn't doesn't oppose the poor working conditions, they were willing to work even on lower wages as compared to men. Most of the women they were employed in cotton textile industry, silk, lace making and knitting industry, while the children they were employed in metal industry, coal mines and cotton textile industry. The working hours were very long, and the working conditions were in fact inhuman. The government took some time to decide that the working children and women should be protected by laws, and after this a number of laws were enacted by the government to improve the working conditions of both children and women. In 1819, a law was enacted that prohibited the employment of children below 9 years of age, and the working hours for those children who were between 9 and 16 years that was reduced from 16 hours to 12 hours in a day. In 1833, a law was enacted that permitted children under 9 to work only in silk factories and within limited working hours. It also enabled the appointment of many factory inspectors to ensure the rules which were framed or prescribed they were followed strictly or not. In 1847, the 10 hours bill was passed that made working hours as 10 hours for women and young people, and these laws were applied only to textile industries and not to the mines. But later on, when the workers of the mining industry they also started raising their voice, then the Mines Commission of 1842 was set up to look into the working conditions in the mines, and it found that the workers or the working conditions had worsened, and that's why on the recommendation of this Mine Commission many laws were enacted, like the Mines and Colliers Act of 1842 that prohibited employment of children and women in work in coal mines, and the Fielders Factory Act in 1847 was enacted that declared that children under 18 should not work more than 10 hours in a day. England also enacted two Combination Acts in 1795 that was actually against the indiscriminate conditions, and that was aimed to protect the people. These laws they banned unauthorized public meetings of over 50 persons or people, and why this was done, so that the people should not gather together and start protesting against the old corruption. Here the old corruption means the corruption that started prevailing in the early phases of the industrial revolution. The members of parliament they were against giving the right to vote to the working class people, and they started supporting the corn laws that prevented the import of cheaper food till the prices in Britain had increased to a certain level. The workers, due to their migration from the rural areas into the urban areas, these workers population it increased, and the towns were flooded, and the factories they were protested in order to show their anger and frustration. There were food or bread riots from 1790 onwards, and the trade in food items was in favor of traders and affected the poor people, and the workers they started seizing the stocks of bread and sold it at a correct cost rather than at the fixed rate by the traders. Also, a process in which big landlords they merged hundreds of small farms to form big farms. That process was called enclosure. The poor rural families who wanted to work after industrial work they were worst affected, And with the introduction of machines in the cotton industry, the thousands of handloom weavers, they were thrown out of work and they were subjected to poverty. Why? Because they were not able to compete with the machines in the textile industry, and the weavers, they started demanding minimum wages from 1790s. When this demand was refused by the parliament, these weavers, they went on strike, and in Lancashire, cotton weavers, they destroyed the power looms in desperation, and the croppers of Yorkshire, they destroyed shearing frames that threatened their livelihood. Because they traditionally sheared sheep by hand, so during these riots in 1830, the farmers, they destroyed the threshing machine, as they found that the new threshing machines are threatening to their job. Ludism was a well-known protest movement in which the right of workers was the ideology which was fought, and those who were affected by the arrival of new machines from 1811 to 1817, this movement was basically targeting those people. This movement was started by General Ned Ludd. That's why after his name this movement came to be known as Luddism. Minimum wages, control over the wage of women and children, work for those who had lost their jobs because of industrialization, and right to form trade unions were some of the basic demands of the people who were participating in this movement. And especially in August 1819, when 80,000 working class people, they gathered peacefully at St. Peter's Field in Manchester. There they demanded for democratic rights of political organization, and these demands and the people who were demanding this, they were crushed with iron hand by government. That is, the government retaliated, and the voice of the peasants or the workers, it was tried to crushed by the government, and this came to be known as the Peterloo massacre. That's all we have in this video. In the next video we will see the contemporary literature and was it an industrial revolution. Thank you and have a nice day.